What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And don't worry, Shador. These two guys were both picked in the 5th round of the YouTube Podcasters Entry Draft 2. And look at where they are now.
Sure.
They are, of course, Captain Joe Day and EP Palick. How you doing, boys?
I feel like I need to rank too.
What's the lowest rank?
Ensign.
Yeah, you're Ensign. I mean,
Ensign EP.
Ensign EP.
EEP.
Mike, I think you're. Names on the channel, Admiral Mike over here.
Don't pull me into this crap. I'm not doing it. And you're lucky we're early in the pod, and I had to edit that a little bit. So yeah.
Or you could be Lieutenant Junior grade. For some reason, that feels worse than Ensign, like the junior grade.
I can feel the people clicking away from the video already. How's it going, boys?
They love it. It's going good. Speaking of Shador, it's going to be rough watching him on the bench as Kenny Pickett goes 16-1 this year and leads the Browns to the Super Bowl. So I feel bad for Shador. I mean, it's going to be a rough season watching my boy Kenny. But no, I'm doing great, Mike. I've got my Star Trek shirt. And because EP is healthy-ish again, he's going to crack open an alcoholic beverage. I am as well, from unofficial sponsor that I'm not going to say their name, Freaky Squeeze Spiked Black Cherry Limeade, and I am going to put it in my. Is this overkill? Maybe I don't know if it is. I'm going to put it. Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Yeah, hit them both at the same time.
Yeah. Wait. It's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters, though. If I hit them both at the same time. All right. EP, what are you drinking?
I got a black and tan from our local-ish.
So we're both local today.
Yeah. Cheers.
By the way,
cheers. If
anybody is looking to host a YouTube podcast with a built-in audience, hit me up.
I have suggestions. I have suggestions for sure.
Anybody but me, please.
In terms of actual card stuff, though, Mike, I was telling you before we started recording, this shelf behind me, you guys can't see it. That's why my angle's off again. Almost filled up with binders. I have been doing this binder thing, and I've been consolidating. I've been getting binders like you know how remember 90s Skybox made binders for pretty much every set. I found a bunch of those. Rittenhouse does the same thing. Found a bunch of those. Have some Ultra Pro binders, the 3-inch thick Ultra Pro binders. Have those filled up. I'm going to run out of room on this thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these extra sets. I mean, I'm going to put them in binders, but now where do those binders go? It's a never-ending story.
Need to buy another bookshelf, dude.
I'm gonna
and then fill it up.
A wrap-around bookshelf situation.
Yeah, I feel like the wainscoting there or whatever the chair rail thing.
Rail,
like the shelves could be wainscoting, kind of.
Yeah,
or wainscoting, depending on how you say it. It's not wainscoting.
I don't think it's that, but
people say that on those home shows. Yeah.
You and me with our HDTV. I could probably fit one over here as well, and maybe do like the corner
all the way
thing.
around.
I don't know. There's potential there. But long story short, I love binders. I love putting cards in binders, guys. It is, you see the cards behind me, the autographs and everything in cases. They're cool. Binders are where it's at, right, EP?
That moment you put that last card in to complete a set, like it just is a good feeling. Like you can like flip through all the pages and have it complete. Just really, really cool. I love it.
He hasn't put a card in a binder in a long time. That's what you're.
I don't see any binders behind him at all.
Hold up. I'll be right back. back.
The camera's out.
No, he left.
You called him out as a collector right there. He's got to defend himself, I think.
He does. Well, it wasn't on my report card for the day, but you see. There it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Make EP find a binder. This could take a while. So
this could take a while. If you guys have seen his house, this is great for radio, I will say. EP, you back yet?
Imagine the background that EP has there and then multiply it by 10. That's the rest of his house.
He's got his binder. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Right in his face. In the face. In the face. What is that set, EP?
This is the Spider-Man, McFarlane Spider-Man.
Oh.
This is the 94 or 2024 Skybox Metal.
Wow. I didn't know you put that set together. That's very cool.
Oh, it's not complete yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And then there's this one that's got the Halo cards. And I don't know if I started another set in here or not, but yeah, I'm putting cards in binders, bro. Oh yeah, I did. Look at that. Infinity
yeah. Yeah.
I apologize. I was way off base on that. So how's it going other than needing to go get a binder to prove that you actually put cards in binders?
Well, I had to miss the last card show, which was just last weekend. We talked about that. And I had to miss that because of being sick. And then I got a text from Bill. Hey, I hope you're feeling better. Would you be interested in the next show? I was like, sure. He said, it's May 3rd. I was like, oh, yeah, great. Sign me up for 3 tables. I'll do it. And then at work this week, I had I was talking to my buddy Bose, and he said, when's the next card show? I said May 3rd. He said, you need a day off to work and prepare for it. I was like, it'd be cool to get one, but I don't want to set us back or anything.
Shut up, EP.
So and I was like, there's time. There's time for us to figure it out. And he's like, that's next Saturday. I was like, well, are you kidding me? What? I had no idea what day of the week was, what time day of the month it was. So yeah, so next Saturday or the next card show, I'm setting up. I'm not close to ready for it, but hopefully I can get a day off to maybe work on some stuff. So he
offered you a day off and you rejected him.
Like, I had to take 3 unplanned days off for being sick. We got special projects
for Rob Ingalls putting the paper together while you were out. I heard that it was all him, no help from anyone else. He covered you, and the paper made it. Paper made it. EP, you can take a day off for the card show. But I was just thinking, May 3rd, I'll actually be in Central PA again.
Oh, really?
So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll swing by. I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, but maybe I can swing by on my way, kind of to Lancaster.
I don't think it's really on the way.
It's not really on the way. But
and I'll be in Allentown, so.
Oh, will you?
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I was on a golf card kick this past week.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the video on the channel, what are you doing? I opened up golf cards. You want to watch it, but yeah, I pulled some good stuff. I got this Charles Howell gold card out of 10. I pulled my first ever Color Blast.
There's EP hates Panini, but those are really cool cards.
And John Rahm autograph. I wanted this card and I hit it, and you didn't watch the video. A lot of people did watch the video. Thank you for that. I also bought 2 boxes of Fleer Ultra Golf on e-Pack. So I've been a little addicted, but I wasn't going to buy the second box, but I needed a couple cards to finish my set. And I just felt like I was going to get a Tiger card, and I hit a Tiger card numbered out of 125. So
now, is that one of those things where they'll send that to you if you request?
You can also like instantly transfer them to ComC. So I've
seen that. Yeah,
I might do that. And like, then I can sell some of the stuff I don't want. I have a lot of stuff in my e-Pack collection right now. So yeah, so I might do that and then pick and choose what I want to sell. And I have a couple set, like the Goonies set. I didn't finish that. And I have that 89 Marvel Fleer retro set. Like it's really cool looking, done like the 89 baseball. That I'll probably just send it to ComC, and then I can pick and choose what I want to have sent to me. So yeah, golf card kick.
Yeah.
Not a ton of golf cards out there, right? Like, I mean, Upper Deck is pretty much it. And so, I mean, to get some cool Panini stuff, that Color Blast is awesome. Like, I have a Sabrina Ionescu Color Blast card that I got at a card show or through some way. And it's one of my favorite cards. It's cool. It's in my PC box because of how cool it is.
So you're saying one of your favorite cards is a Panini card?
Well, listen. I've said before, I would buy Panini if it didn't cost $1,500 a box, dude.
Wait. Said this. Oh, was the golf $1,500 for that box?
No, actually, I got 3 boxes of the golf for less than half of what they were charging for Optic Football.
Huh?
Yes. Who's smart?
So you can buy stuff from Panini.
$139.
You're twisting the words again. You're twisting everything.
I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I don't know. Comment down below. EP says you can't buy anything from Panini under $1,500, and here we are. Golf, and Mike did very well in his box. I did. Throwing that out there, EP. All right. Moving on, Mike. Don't let him speak. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Don't let him defend himself.
All right. Well, let's get into it because we have a lot to talk about this week. Last week we were talking about Panini and signing Shedeur Sanders, which might not look like as good of a deal now, and Travis Hunter to exclusive autograph deals. They also signed Patrick Mahomes to autograph deal. He was out of the product for a couple of years now. He's back, and we gave them a lot of credit and talked about how they were kind of looking like they were trying to out tops. And as it turns out, it's really not any of that at all, because as Jeff Wilson reported, Panini deals with Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Patrick Mahomes actually end on March 31st, 2026, which happens to be the day before Fanatics takes over the football license. So, yeah, all this talk of them being smart, maybe they were smart enough to sign the guys to keep Fanatics from doing it for this year, but it's only for a year. They don't have any plan for after they lose the football license. They're not going to try to do what Fanatics did to them. It looks like they might just be out. I don't know, but yeah, wanted to make that correction. And isn't it crazy that we're within a year of them having all the licenses? I believe they get basketball this fall, and then they get football the beginning of April. Not an April Fool's joke. They get it next year. But yeah, Panini, just 1 year deals. They wanted to support them for years to come by giving them a 1 year deal. Smart with the Shedeur Sanders thing.
Yeah. Depending on the money, I mean, that kind of money could probably support someone for years to come, I would guess. So in terms of the basketball coming out, they're gonna have Fanatics is gonna have football and basketball. As an aside, do we think that Wemby will have rookie cards in their first basketball product? I'm just saying. Are they going to do real? No, you don't think Fanatics will?
They can't.
I mean, they can, but maybe one product. Maybe one product.
I don't know.
They're going to be moving on to Cooper Flag by then anyway.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm not going to put the conspiracy hat on for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were still making Wemby rookie cards to try and get him in his uniform. As for this topic, though, I mean, they did the smart thing by protecting their flank. I kind of mentioned that a little bit, where this wasn't the last week when we talked about it or whenever we talked about it. This wasn't specifically a let's screw over Fanatics like they screwed over us. Let's just protect our own at this point. And so now they should have at least a few sets where collectors can get autographed, licensed cards of these major players from the draft. Shedeur Sanders, he's still a name. I guarantee you people will still be hunting for Shedeur Sanders cards. I would not be surprised if Panini tries to do some sort of dual autos with him and Dion, dual autos with him and Travis Hunter. I mean, I think there's still some meat on the bone with that. So I don't think they're too screwed over with Shedeur. But at the end of the day, it is nice that they are. It's probably not their choice. It is nice that they will not have them signed to exclusives going forward, because then Fanatics and folks that want to collect Topps cards can actually get licensed cards of players in their pro uniforms. And I was sort of joking about the Wemby thing. I think in 2026, when they do have the football license, they will be making rookie cards and rookie autos of Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, what they would be anyway. 2026 before the draft, January, February, March, April.
The leader products,
I think Fanatics will start still. I guarantee you, Panini is still making rookie products going forward of last year's draft class after this draft, because that's a regular thing. So Topps will get them, and you might have Panini and Topps license cards of these top players in the draft. So that's a good thing for collectors.
Unless there's something in the licensing agreement that like starting with 2025, you can make cards that they wouldn't be able to backdate them. So I think that's a possibility. So they, even though they take over the license before the draft, they may not be able to make 2024 cards. Yeah.
Or 2025 cards. I hope not.
2025 cards. Yeah.
But that's kind of how our hobby is. Like, it was never this way when we were doing this. Like, very
it was the opposite.
Rarely, it was the opposite. Stuff was coming out so early. That's why you had a lot of cards in college uniforms, like actual photography of players, and then airbrush college uniforms into pro uniforms because they wanted those products out before the season started. Now it just seems like we're going to be getting Caleb Williams rookies for the next couple of months, I would guess.
Yeah, we would get Fleer Ultra Series 1, which would have the rookies in their college uniforms, and Series 2 would have them in their pro uniforms.
Yeah.
You hit on it, Joe. Like the big takeaway for me on this one is this is a rare collector's win in 2025 for the collectors. You're going to be able to get these rookie cards with they're going to be licensed with the rookie shield, and that's a great thing. And there I am. Saying Panini,
thank you, Fanatics.
Thank you, Panini. Nope, this is Panini.
Thank you, Fanatics.
Well, they actually started it, but I mean, I'm glad that we're going to get that. With the one of the big questions is what happens at the end of the contract. Does like Fanatics automatically get it? Is there a bidding war? And do you think Panini tries to bid for it? And then my other question then is what happens to Fanatics? Is this like related to the Players Associations or something? Do Fanatics exclusive deals with other people also run out at the same time? I think it could be
exclusive deals.
Yeah, I doubt they do. The autograph deals are independent of the Players Association. So that's a group licensing for the card sets. They can make the cards of the players with that group licensing, but the autographs, they have to do individual deals with the players to do that. So that's why I mean, it's not a coincidence that their contracts end the day before Fanatics takes over. And I would be shocked if Fanatics doesn't, also work a deal with these people. I mean, maybe not Shador if he's terrible. He still has some marketability there though. So yeah, they'll sign them. Mahomes, I don't know. I would think they would want to work out a deal with Mahomes.
That one's weird to me. Yeah. That we didn't really touch on that a lot, but like Mahomes signing with Panini seems really strange to me, doesn't it? Like,
well, that's where his rookie card is. I mean, he probably has a connection to
for autos and cards this year. Like, it's kind of strange that he wasn't signing for 3 years there. Like, I can only assume that the amount of money that he wanted is probably more than what Panini wanted to pay. So I guess Fanatics will also have the same issue when they take over. I would tend to think that they'd be willing to pay him, although they could have signed him before this, like before Panini did too, which it would have been kind of a coup to have them in your unlicensed product when you made it. So
did they have any dollar amounts? Any dollar amounts with these contracts?
No.
Like I wonder what Mahomes signed for. Is it close to like what Jordan or
Tiger?
I'm gonna guess it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that maybe Panini decided to pony it up for 1 year.
And considering how much Panini puts in their product in terms of autographs in their products, I'm sure he's going to have to sign a lot of stickers. I'm guessing it's not just a handful like Jordan probably signs for Upper Deck.
I mean, the thing is though, if you think about they're huge, they're high end stuff, Flawless and National Treasures. You get Mahomes coming back for that last year, like that's gonna. I mean, they're gonna sell bajillions of them for lots of money, right?
And with the number 1 draft pick in it, I mean that's gonna be a massive last hurrah for Panini, I would suspect, in terms of financials.
We don't totally know if the number 1 draft pick is signed to Panini or not, though. I mean, he's definitely signed to Topps because they're doing a Topps Now card, which we'll talk about later. I mean, it may not be exclusive. I'm guessing he must have signed non-exclusive deals, maybe.
Possible, yeah.
So since only for a year, but yeah, that'll be interesting. Plus, they have to get all the product out before March 31st. So if they have Mahomes autograph, like they're going to use every single Mahomes autograph they get this year. Might be a good time to try to get one.
Yeah. Here's one thought I'm throwing out to you. will Fanatics mess around with the printing?
I mean, they got to pay for it, right? They got to pay like they're paying to use the printing press. So they're going to like, if Panini wants to release a set every 2 weeks, I mean, they're going to make money off of it.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, sure. Or they
what
can slow them
benefit
down,
is there
screw
at
'em over.
that point, though? Like,
Yeah, I guess they've already
they're-
screwed them over enough.
they're taking over everything as of
Yeah.
April 1st. So, like, Panini's pretty much going away. So,
Though I will say Fanatics seems like a company that would kick someone while they're down. I mean, that's just my vibe, but I don't know.
wow. Because, you know, you're impartial about all this.
I am. I hate both.
I see. It feels like you hate one more than the other.
Yeah.
Though, so
He definitely wears
I
Panini
do.
underoos.
I
Okay.
definitely hate the bigger bully than the smaller bully.
okay. All right. Moving on from our old buddy Paul Lesko. There is I guess it is a state suit going on somewhere. Somebody named Lance Jackson against Collectors PSA. He's suing him because apparently they damaged a Kobe Bryant rookie card refractor that he took in for walkthrough service. I guess he said that the grader said he had a boof or something that, like, I don't know if he dropped
What was
the
that
card
word?
or dropped it.
Yeah, I
Boof.
don't
It was BOOF. I don't
Okay,
know.
that's what I
That
thought you
was the
said.
quote.
I was wanting to make sure.
I've never heard
Hey.
that before.
I have during a Supreme Court confirmation, wildly boofing. I'll leave it at that. Urban
Okay, yeah,
Dictionary it yourself.
It's
Okay.
that is not what we're talking about here, Joe. And
Okay.
thanks for interrupting to interject that. Yeah, but they're basically fighting because PSA damaged the card and they can't decide on what the value of the card was. But that's really not what we're going to talk about. The interesting thing is, in the suit, it is claimed that the PSA graders are grading up to 300 cards a day in an 8-hour shift. That comes to 96 seconds per card. There are also validators that are the next level above the graders, which review the cards. And apparently they're reviewing 1,500 a day in an 8-hour shift, which is about 20 seconds a card. So basically, if you kind of figure the amount of time to take the card out, then look it over, probably 60 to 90 seconds to grade a card. On social media this week, when this information came out, there was kind of a discussion about, is that long enough to look at a card and grade it? I wanted to get your thoughts. What do you think? 60 to 90 seconds. We'll start with you, Joe, because I don't know what EP is going to say.
I was going to say I'll defer to the grading king down there, EP, but no. The quick answer to that question, no, it's not enough time. And I'd like to know. So 60 to 90 seconds is fine. They shouldn't be looking at that walkthrough Kobe Bryant rookie card.
Well,
for 60. I hope
I'm
that
guessing the higher levels. We're talking
What?
kind of the bulk level, I would imagine.
But my point is, if you're taking longer time to watch that means the average is actually reduced on the 60 to 90 seconds. I mean, yeah, that is not enough time at all. Like, how are you going to put proper light on the surface? How are you going to look at all four corners, front and back? How are you going to look at the edging? How are you going to measure the centering? I mean, me just explaining all that probably took longer than they're looking at that card. And that's wild to me. Like, even just measuring up the centering should take about a minute, right? I mean, it's if they're going by their guidelines on their website, which apparently they are being much more strict about, especially with centering, there should be more than just the eye test, right? Like, it should actually be measured. Now, some of this is done by computer, from what I understand, like the centering part of it. But again, I mean, I don't know. That just seems like a wildly fast amount of time to look at a card and determine whether it's worth $20 or hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane to me. There's no way that this is happening. Think about your normal day at your normal job. It's not like you are grinding for 8 straight hours on your tasks. somebody's going to interrupt you. You're going to get a phone call. You're going to have to do something else. Like the 96 seconds is just the average. Like that number is actually astronomically lower. Then when you factor in with what Joe was saying with the Kobe Bryant card, which takes a little more time, maybe you need to like go over to the Kobe Bryant guy and say, hey, look at this for a second. Like all that stuff factors in. There are probably a lot of cards that only get 20 seconds. They get the validation level of the 20-second level from somebody that literally they probably put it on a scanner, like Joe said. They probably have a scanner that can give you the centering and give you like a very basic grade, and then that's it. Maybe that's it. They just look okay, good to go. And I'm like so it's scary to think about. Joe, you said hundreds. Like we're talking potential for millions of dollars. Like there's some cards. If you take a 9,
I think those they probably take longer than 90 seconds.
You would hope they do. You would hope they do. Yeah.
I love that EP thinks they have a Kobe Bryant guy. He grades all the Kobe cards.
They probably have certain experts, not specifically Kobe, but they probably have certain experts on certain.
They do, yeah, definitely. Okay, so I went through my card process. I picked up an ultra modern card. It was just a WWE silver card. So I took my loop out, checked the corners front and back, checked the edges front and back. I gave it a good look over in the light to see if I could find any scratching, looked at the back. Took me 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'm not quite as strong in my opinion as you guys, because I originally thought what you guys thought. And then I thought, okay, let me just look. Now this is an ultra modern card. I should have timed looking at like an older card. I would tend to think that would take me longer because I feel like it does, but maybe it doesn't. It a little bit more time. 90 seconds is more time than I really thought it was. And I think I'm not saying that every card is going to be graded accurately, but I don't think it's grossly out of the range for somebody doing this as a job. But I do think this is part of the reason why they have so much variance in their grades, and why you can get one person that graded something a 6 and one that graded at a 10. The one that graded a 10 probably missed something that the guy that graded a 6 actually saw. Hearing this information kind of makes me feel like the stuff that's being sent in and getting the wildly different grades, the lower grade was probably the right one, because I don't think you're seeing stuff that isn't there. I think it's more likely you may be missing stuff that is there, but I don't know. 1 minute and 15 seconds, that kind of surprised me.
Did you, I'm sure you mentioned it. How did you determine centering? Just eyeballing it, or did you actually take out like?
Yeah, I didn't have the tool that EP bought me handy when I did it, so I didn't feel like walking upstairs to get it. So I eyeballed it. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm guessing if you're looking at centering, it will jump that. It probably won't jump at minutes, but I would suspect that, again, especially if they're going to the stricter policy where it, 10 has to be 55-45, a 9 has to be, 64 or whatever, like to determine that feels like it would take the longest amount of time, where everything else you can eyeball a little bit. And like I said,
let me stop you there. I feel like if you're going through a bunch of cards, though, you can probably eliminate the ones that are centered. Like you wouldn't have to really closely look at the ones. Like you pick up a card, you can tell if it's centered. Like the ones that are a little bit off centered are the ones you kind of have to measure to see how far off they are.
I get that if they didn't totally makes sense. But I get that if they didn't like make such a big deal about changing their centering guidelines. Like if they're going to actually,
they didn't make a big deal about it. They tried to sneak it in there. And
right. Let me rephrase. Yes. They tried to sneak it in. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like with them being stricter now on centering guidelines, you shouldn't be eyeballing it. Like you shouldn't say, oh, this definitely is centered or not, and then move on. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm curious. I would love to see someone like Little Victories or Lico 3 who grade a ton of cards. I'd love to see their process. I know I take longer just because I'm OCD. So for me, I'm checking out every corner, but I guarantee you EP takes longer too.
I probably would take longer. I'm almost guaranteed, because I've looked at cards in different sets of light, like daylight, and then later like at night with the harsher light on it. And I've spotted things I wouldn't have spotted looking at it with the different lights. One of my thoughts is, and again, we've talked about this a million times. Let us in there. Let us see what the setups look like. Let us in and know. I feel like if you're PSA, you have a contraption kind of set up that has harsh lighting already built in, has a scanner built in. You put the card in there, and the scanner automatically gives you the centering. And then you have the harsh light. You're able to turn the card a little bit here or there to be able to see the light. So I feel like they probably have something set up. They're probably not sitting there at their normal desk holding it with their hand, like looking at it like this. They probably have tools and stuff in place to expedite the process. But I still think, again, I'm harp on it. Like, people get up to go to the bathroom. People, take a lunch break. People take a break. And so that number 96 seems like a very, very generous number compared to what the actual number probably is.
I have a question for our viewers, because I honestly don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I might just be really dumb, and people will hear this question and laugh out loud because Mike is so dumb.
Going, and I have to say, I'm curious.
If you saw my tweet this morning, you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
What do they do with the card after they grade it? Okay, I'm assuming you get the card. I believe they cut it out of the card saver, correct?
Yeah.
That's what they say, why they throw it out. So assuming that they actually cut it out, now you have a card in a soft sleeve. You're going to take it out of there and you're going to look at it and grade it, right? What do they do with them after? Do they put them in a soft sleeve and a holder again? Because if you're putting a card in a soft sleeve, as all of us know, you can clip a corner very easily. So I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know what they do. Okay, I picked up this card. I have it. I'm done with it now. What happens? What is it? It has to be put in something, but if you put it in something, you're risking damaging it.
Right.
Then where do they go? Like where are they sitting? Like, I feel like I might be the dumbest person in the world. People might be yelling at their screen right now, telling me what to do.
There's three of us that are the dumbest people in the world, because I don't know either, Mike. And what's really interesting is you watch these videos of folks who grade a lot of cards, like the Little Victories and League 3s that we watch, and they say sometimes, this was not here when I sent this in.
When you get them back, here. Like if they're men's size or something, they're in a card saver. I don't know if it's the same one I sent them in or if it's a new one.
But it shouldn't be, because they cut it out. How do they know it's men's size until they take it out, right? I mean,
yeah.
So I that's a really good question. And I think it goes back to EP's first point. Let us inside. Pull back the curtain a little bit, right? And I think you kind of need to at this point. You have this lawsuit. Now you're being forced to show some of these details. But that being said, what a great PR thing this would be to let someone from the hobby, unfortunately, have to be Jeff Wilson, but letting someone from the hobby back there. I think he did this with SGC. I'm going to have to go rewatch the video.
I think you're right.
To see, but like, your PSA, you're the biggest name out there. Show us what you're doing. There's not trade secrets. Everyone, if there's trade secrets, Mosaic,
you're grading
or whatever,
card.
You're grading a card, right? So, like, yes, Nat Turner, take Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, ask Nat Turner to give you a tour. Like, something needs to be done, because these are questions. You may think it sounds stupid, Mike, but I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute, I have no idea either. Like,
I assume they go into like another card saver type thing. Like, we have to.
Right. Well,
we don't know. I don't know.
Right. We can't assume. Like, I wonder myself, do they have an assembly line process where the guy actually doing the grading doesn't even cut the card out? He receives a box full of cards that are in the soft sleeves. Like, you wonder if that's the case. If that's the case, then that takes maybe they're not even soft sleeves. Maybe they have to come out of the soft sleeves when they put them in the box, or they put them in a felt line box or something. Who knows? But like, if they want us to feel better about the grading and about these, how's this card a 6 and how's this card a 10, let us in there. Show us a little bit of the process and see what it ends, so we can see what happens.
They're graded like 2 million cards a month. They don't care. It's not going to make any difference.
Yeah. We can bitch and moan all we want about it. Oh, it only takes they only take 90 seconds per card and all this and that. No one's going to say, oh, I'm boycotting PSA now. Like, they're not. So like, they don't have to do that. They'll probably, deal with this lawsuit and then move on. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're right, Mike. Who's going to stop grading cards because they don't know the process happening at PSA?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Including myself. Yes. All right. Moving on. This one's interesting. Again, I want to get your opinions on this. This past Saturday night, there was a T206 Honus Wagner that sold at auction for $1.98 million. The interesting thing about this is that it's a PSA graded card, graded authentic restored, not altered, but restored. I don't think I've ever seen, I know I've never seen this before. Makes me wonder, how do you get the restored logo on it instead of the altered? Because it's still altered. It should be at least altered restored.
Right.
Yeah.
I did some research. I looked online, found some different things. There apparently was another Honus Wagner that was also given the restored designation, which they don't have in their official guidelines. It's would be altered because restoration is one of their alterations to it. I don't know if it's because it's the Honus Wagner card,
that's what it is.
that it's like kind of like an iconic thing, kind of like a piece of artwork. So they're just decided to call those restored, although they should say altered on the slab. I read about the restoration of this card, and wow, I mean, it is restored. Like they filled in parts of the card, they recolored, like there was a lot of work done on this card. So it goes probably beyond alteration, but we've talked a lot about, you know, what our grading company is going to eventually just mark cards as restored instead of altered. If it was intentionally done to restore it, would people buy? Somebody's going to spend $2 million on a restored Honus Wagner card. So there are certain cards that there is clearly a market for, but just interested in your thoughts on the restored words on the case, on the slab, and no altered.
So PSA got into comic books recently, right? I haven't seen many PSA comic book slabs, by the way. I don't know if they're like fully out there or not, but I mean, this is a comic book thing, right? This is, CGC has done restored comic books. They're different labeled. Was it the same colored label, Mike? Was it the same red label?
Mm-hmm. Same
I
label.
mean, there should be some sort of differentiation there anyway, but yeah, so comic book restoration is a pretty regular thing. This is the first time I'm hearing about it with cards. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said is it because it's the Honus Wagner? I think probably it is. I don't, 1999, Michael Jordan PMG where they're, an actual PMG where they're coloring in the spots that are chipped with the red ink. Is that going to be considered restored? I would hope not. But you never know. You really don't. I to the point about $2 million as well. I think we're all in agreement. If we're going to spend that kind of money on a Honus Wagner card, give me one that tells a story. Like I don't want a restored copy of this card. I want the card. I want the actual card, how it was received by PSA or SGC or whatever. But it opens up a Pandora's box a little bit, doesn't it? Like, at what point do they say, well, we're not going to restore this card, we are going to allow restored of this card, where you have the Kurt's Card Care people being like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, what's going on here? I thought you said restoration wasn't okay. Because one of their points about Kurt's Card Care is we don't know what's going to happen with this card 20 years down the road or whatever, so we don't want to be on the lurch for that. Well, you don't know what's going to happen with this restored copy. Sure, you're saying it's restored, and that's fine. But I think in terms of the Kurt's Card Care, well, why don't, if there's going to be a whole new category, what are we going to allow that then? If you catch something from Kurt's Card Care or something that someone used Kurt's Card Care on, send it in. Are you going to slab it restored? If you realize that it is a restored card, probably not. You're going to say alter and send it back, or, not even grade it at all. So I don't like the different kind of tentacles this could unleash on grading. But I mean, if you're going to do it for one card and it's this card, I'm kind of okay with it. But still, it really does open up that Pandora's box.
Yeah, it does. I think there's less of a slippery slope, just because of this card. Like, if you think about, like, sure, there's a bunch of modern, ultra modern one-of-ones, right? But you can find 100 one-on-one Derek Jeter cards, 100 one-on-one King Griffey Jr. cards, where this is like true, rare, limited. I believe there's something like 12 of them in the world or something like that.
60, I think.
660.
Yeah.
Like, just think about how rare this card is, how old it is. And that, so they can, I think they can make the argument, say, well, this card is different than anything else out there in collecting. And I would easily make that argument for them. And Joe, I agree with you. When Mike said the price was like, for Honus Wagner T206, and then he started saying more, because I think that price was way low. I wonder if that card, like you said, Joe, had the card with the story that wasn't restored, I wonder if that would have sold for more than the $2 million.
I would hope so. You would probably hope so. I'm guessing Mike would probably, but I honestly don't know what a Honus Wagner goes. That's even outside of my buying zone, EP. I know it's shocking to hear, but that one's out of mine.
My issues with this are you don't have any designation in your grading scale for restored. You don't. I don't care if you do it, but you need to make it known that in certain circumstances there may be key rare cards that are restored that can get that designation. I still think it has to have the altered slab on it, like
or a different colored slab completely, like something designating it different from a regular PSA slab.
Like I've been a proponent of this all along, maybe splitting stuff up into restored, but maybe have a list of cards on the website that you're willing to grade as restored, like something, again, with PSA transparency. Just tell us why and how, let us know what the new rules are, and then we can accept them. But they seem to have a habit of just, doing things,
doing shit
people
when they want to.
Don't know why, unless we're just all out of the loop, and a bunch of other people too, because I read a lot of information and people just never saw this before. Like I said, I saw one person found another example of another Honus Wagner that had it, but I don't like not having the altered on it. And just, again, let us know. It's fine if you're going to do it, but let us know. And the restored isn't over on the grade side. It's like underneath, like where they have the information for the card. So it's on the left side. So people were conditioned to look at the right side to get the grade and stuff. Yeah. It's a Honus Wagner. We're not going to be buying it at a card show and like not noticing. But the point remains that it's not over where it should be, so people know it. I don't know. Maybe I'm making too much out of it.
If PSA put out a press release and said, "Hey, Honus Wagner restored card. This is the only one we allow. It's such a rare card. It is like a piece of art. It's not like the 52 man where there are a ton of them. They are very valuable, but there are a ton of them. This one is truly, truly rare. We will allow restoration on this." I think would we even be talking about this at that point? Like, I don't even think it'd be a topic.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with it.
Right.
Just let us know how you
be transparent about it. I think the last two stories have been that's the theme. Just be transparent about what you're doing.
Yeah, how are like fantasy football managers more transparent about the rules and shit in their league than PSA is about? They're talking about millions of dollars. Well, yeah, that's true, but I mean, all the ones that I deal with, like they have contingencies for everything. They lay out everything, so there's no question about stuff. And here's PSA,
and 11 other people will give you a lot of shit if you don't, EP.
Right.
All right. Oh, this I found interesting as well. We've all seen autographs that just, we look at them, we're like, what in the world is that? That is not an autograph, right? Cam Ward, like I mentioned earlier, has an autograph like that. We're still going to get to that. I haven't forgotten about it. But Darren Ravel on Collect actually had, he spoke to an anonymous executive at a card company. about bad autographs on cards. And I thought this was fascinating because we all wonder, why is this on the card? How do they let this get through? He said this anonymous executive at a card company said that the Cam Ward triple autograph, which we'll be talking about after this, don't worry. The autograph is just a gigantic C and a tiny little W after it. It's an awful autograph. And this executive said that the autograph was gross, which I agree with. And he looked at it and said, we're paying north of $50 an autograph for that. So apparently this must be a Fanatics person, I'm guessing.
Sure seems like it
with that card. And Darren Ravel was talking to him about it, asked, how does this happen? The executive said the players sign between 5,000 and 10,000 autographs each, and they just don't care. They don't care about the collector. They're just signing them because they have to sign them. They put very little effort into them, which clearly we can see.
Yeah, we see.
And they say that that's my signature. So what can they do? Said they sign an affidavit affirming that the signature's in their hand. Yet this guy said that he knows that some agents sign some of them for him too. So an anonymous executive pretty much admitting that some of the autographs might not even be real, which I think we all kind of assume, especially from certain players. Darren Ravel asked him, like, can you do anything? And the answer was, not really. If I do, the agent won't work with us again. So there it is. The reason you have bad autographs are because the companies are afraid to tell the agents that these autographs are crap. They're signing a bunch of them. They're just trying to get them done so they can get paid, but they don't want to make the agents unhappy. I'm kind of looking like, I wouldn't call it a monopoly, clearly, but Fanatics, when you own everything, I feel like you have a little bit of power on your end too, because come March 31st of 2026, I don't know that Panini is going to be paying a whole lot of money for bad autographs, like for autographs from these players and getting bad autographs. So you might be able to say, well, you know what? If you don't want to get $50 an autograph, that's fine with us, but you're going to be missing out on a lot of money. I feel like they could use their position in this hobby to maybe put a little bit of pressure. I'm not saying you have to piss them off, but at some point you could put into the terms, we need decent legible autographs and you will be paid for centered legible autographs that aren't off of the sticker or off of the card, like that you could force them to put a little bit of effort into it.
How many did you say they signed, Mike?
5,000 to 10,000.
Yeah, so that's $500,000. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not a lot for them, but it's a lot of money when you're a rookie, you know, like especially with the new contract. So you're getting $500,000 to sign autos. And you said that, you know, a lot of the person that spoke said that, you know, these players sign an affidavit that they signed these cards. I'd like to know, did Cam Ward sign his affidavit with a big C and a little W? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he signed a Cam fucking Ward. Like,
if he'll sign his contract that way. Yeah.
Right. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, the thing about the $50 per auto, okay, sure. I guess that, you know, the guy's pissy that they have to pay $50 per auto. Imagine being a collector paying thousands of dollars for that auto.
Yeah, I know.
You're paying 50 as a company. Cool. We're paying thousands of dollars for some of these autos and they are shit. You know, like this to me is the biggest story of the week. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I cannot, and I collect a lot of autos. And I don't buy autos when they look like that. I refuse. Do you see a P2 auto in my, but he keeps it on the sticker at least, but I would not buy an autograph like that. It's crazy. And I will say, we're going all the way back to episode 1. How often or how excited were we? And how often did we say how excited we were for Michael Rubin to take over because he has connections? This guy has connections. He's going to change things in the hobby. I still, I shit on Fanatics. I do, because they do have a monopoly, not legally, but I still have hope. I still have hope that one day Ruben will wake up and say, let's not care all about the money. Like, yes, EP, you're kind of like shaking your head at me. In the back of my mind, because I know I want to buy Topps Chrome, I have hope that they start actually doing well for the collectors. I'm not saying they will, but I can still have hope that they will. And you have a guy who came in, he sat with Bill Simmons and said, you should love us taking over because I have connections. I can get the players to do things that other companies couldn't get them to do. Clearly not if Cam Ward is signing CW. Like, absolutely little W. It's ridiculous. And this is not just a Fanatics thing. But again, we're talking about the company that's taking over the hobby world in less than a year. So it is a Fanatics thing. This is their problem they need to fix. Panini, they are gone. They are senioritis for the last 5 years. They don't give a shit anymore. And we've documented that. But my goodness, if you are passing this off, and it just sticks in my craw looking down at that. I even wrote notes, and I never write notes. $50. Oh, why are we paying $50 for this? Thousands of dollars. I guarantee you a Cam Ward autograph card, thousands, if not 10,000s of dollars in certain sets. And it looks like shit, probably off the sticker. And it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Everybody mark your calendars. April 28th, 2025, the year of our Lord. Joe Day has hope. It has happened. Joe Day has hope. This is a tiny little bit, he says.
This much, EP.
Yeah, I wrote down a handful of things, but one of the ones I wrote down, Joe, was Fanatics' responsibility. That this is their responsibility. They need to fix it. Like, this is
mark it down. The year of our Lord, 2025. EP is saying Fanatics has some responsibility. Sorry, EP, go
ahead. They have responsibility here to fix this thing. Like 5,000 to 10. Like, give me. How much would you guys take to write your name 10,000 times? $500,000.
I don't sign.
Well, I mean, I would take a lot less than $500,000, but I would take a lot less than $500,000. But I mean, that's a huge chunk of money. That this should be part of their contracts. It should be part of their responsibility through the NFL, even saying you guys need to do this in the freaking offseason when they give you your stickers. You freaking sign the stickers. You sign them good. I mean, there's a way they should be allowed to be this. It feels so gross. And the last thing I wrote down was some agents. F them. Like, I mean, like you were saying, what good is it? Who are they going to get to sign their players after Fanatics gets everything? Like,
honestly though, maybe Panini EP, maybe they go to Panini and say, hey, you guys want to make a classic 4 sport, I'll bring my clients over. Who knows? So they do. Fanatics does have power. They do. But again, I thought it was going to be that soft power where Ruben could go in and say, hey, we're making these deals with the Players Association. We're making these deals directly with the league. Let's, we're gonna make this better. And if the person that talked to what's his name? I forget, Darren Ravel. The person that talked to him is a Fanatics employee, which we're kind of reading the tea leaves.
It's probably Ruben.
It is. It's probably maybe it's Ruben. That'd be hilarious. He'd have to know anything about cards. But like, if he's talking to a Fanatics person, I mean, yeah, they are ultimately responsible for this at the end of the day. And it's so infuriating because autographs have become the most important part of our hobby. I don't care what anyone else says. Autographs in products have just absolutely permeated the hobby. And maybe this would be a way if like in a perfect world, I wish they would hand 10,000 stickers to whoever, quality control person at Fanatics, and they're like, nope, and went through and said, okay, you actually only signed 5,000. Here's $50 for $50 per auto for 5,000 stickers instead of 10,000. Like, that's how it should work. But it's not, because again, collectors, rephrase, flippers and investors don't give a shit. They don't. Oh, the auto's too small. Oh, some 3 nerds on YouTube are going to complain about it. Who cares? Someone's still going to buy this card. right? Like
Right.
that's the problem.
And they're still going to break with the National Treasures. They're going to break the flawless, even
Right.
with crap autos on there. They're going to pay all that like gonzo amounts of money.
Those are on card for the most part.
Oh, are they?
Those are on card, but like Prism's really bad. Like you got lucky, you got a golfer product auto, but like Prism is one they're either way off the sticker or Anthony Richardson signing bull crap. But this is, we're talking about Fanatics. We're going to be talking about that 3-way auto for that very reason. That auto is horrendous. With
let's talk about it since Joe brought it up. First of all, you don't need to call us names, Joe. Nerds.
Cool nerds. We're the cool nerds.
Proud nerds.
We're nerds, but we're cool nerds.
We're the kings of the nerds.
Well,
we're not the king.
Princes.
We're in the we put ourselves in the court, the king's court.
Chris Sewell is definitely king nerd.
King of the nerds.
All right. We talked about it. I've been teasing it, but Topps now has a Cam Ward card coming out. Has a 1-of-1 individual autograph, but also you have a chance of getting the 1-of-1 triple autograph with Caleb Williams and Bryce Young, which Caleb Williams actually signed this one pretty well. It's not his little CW.
It must be a leftover.
Bryce Young's was decent, and then you have Cam Ward's little whatever you want, the big C little W thing. Yeah, so they're the chases in this, but this is what actually started the whole conversation. I know Darren Ravel had brought this up on Twitter and was kind of like, why that's not even an autograph. But in all the comments, like you said, Joe, this is the problem in the hobby. People don't care. There are way more people out there now, I'm afraid, that don't care that his autograph looks like that than people like us that do care. We're the old man standing on our lawn yelling at the clouds. Most of the younger collectors don't care. It's all about what it's worth, and if it has the CW on it, it's worth more than if it doesn't have it. They don't need the whole name, which, we are CAMWARD, 7 whole letters. My God. How hard must it be to sign 7 letters? From somebody. I have 8, but
I have 6.
But it's insane. Yet here they are. Topps is selling this card. They're going to sell a bunch of them. Somebody's going to get that card that's going to sell for a lot of money. At the end of the day, none of it matters because the collectors don't care. And what incentive do the companies have to maybe piss off the agents a little or the players a little bit? I would assume the agents get more pissed than the players even, right. But they have no incentive to do that.
They're the ones that are go that route.
Yeah, because not enough people care. Just like everything. This is a running theme on this podcast. Over and over and over again, all this shit happens in the hobby because people don't care. People don't care. Grant Telford is back on Backyard Breaks on Whatnot, which is the scummiest company in the world. Do not use Whatnot. They're terrible. They allow this to happen, but the hobby allows it to happen.
Yep.
All those people are still watching that. The people that do that kind of thing, that's what they do. They don't care. We're going to talk about it a little bit Wednesday when we review the documentary. And it's just, again, everything comes down to people don't freaking care. And that's why this gigantic autograph is crap.
To your point about Whatnot, they would care if people cared because they're a business, right? That's the problem. That's what it boils down to. The people themselves. I don't even say collectors. I'm saying, what are you looking at there, EP?
Oh, no, nothing. Just people walking around outside. Everything's good.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like the big name people in the hobby might be able to sway them a little bit if they cared to not take the money and maybe deal with everything, but whatever.
One last thing about just autographs in general, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up George Pickens, how we let him slide this entire segment without bringing up his bullshit auto. And the people don't caring thing, I think it was Dan the Card Man is how I came across the situation, but I'm sure other people had talked about it as well. The one card that was Kurt's Card Care and it faded the auto but the card got a better grade, so no one
Mhm.
cared about the auto being completely
Mhm.
pretty much off the card, like faded to the point where you could barely see it, but the card still it graded a 10. So that card now is worth more than a card that has ding corners, but a super bold autograph, right? So yes, people don't care, which is ridiculous. If you don't care about, here's my thing. If you don't care about autos, why in the world are you collecting them? Or why are you buying them so much? Why are you paying for them? If you don't care about how the auto looks, why are they worth so much? Like, just buy a base or a numbered card without an auto. I don't get it. And I will say too, I think out of all of the like sports and ancillary sports and things like that, I think wrestlers might be the best at autographs because they have to actually practice an autograph in a lot of sense that's not their name, and they can do it. They can keep it on the card. They can have, I have not seen, and wrestling card collectors complain about everything, and I have not seen a ton of complaints about wrestling card autos from Panini or from Fanatics. So, I mean, there's got to be something to that. To this specific card itself, I'm glad they dug up a Caleb Williams where he actually signed Caleb Williams and not just CW9 with a little circle around it. I mean,
they could have had two CWs on the card though. At that point,
you could. That's true. That's true. The rare CW variant.
They wouldn't know which is which.
In some cases, some people don't. They put them on the wrong card. But yeah, you have this card that's probably going to sell a ton of those base crap Tops Now cards for someone to get this card. And guess what? It's still going to be valuable. People are still going to be able to make money. Whoever pulls it is still going to make I'm assuming six figures on it. And it's just, it's terrible that a card that valuable, it looks so much like crap because these athletes just don't care.
Yeah, I'm great points for both of you guys. I'm going to just riff on both of what you guys said so far. We care too much. The three of us care too much, and people like us care too much. The bottom line is, if you look at this card, will the CW affect the grade, the PSA grade? No, it won't. It still could be possibly be a 10. Checkbox. It doesn't have autographs on the card. Yes, checkbox. Are they popular players? Checkbox. Like, so they're not worried about how the card looks. They're not worried about even the content of the card. They don't care about the autographs. They want to check these boxes because they know if they check the boxes, I think it's a PSA 10, they can sell it for, like you said, Joe, six figures. That's just the bottom line, in my opinion. That's where we are as a hobby, where the three of us are like, I think even Mike said, are the old guys shouting at the clouds, and and then the bottom line is that's where we are. We still care about this, where a lot of people in the hobby right now care about checking all those check boxes so they can get a payday.
All right. Well, we don't talk about CGC very often. I don't know that we ever talk about them. But because we talked about the popularity of Pokemon cards, how it's affecting sports card collecting, sports card grading, CGC is increasing their price on grading, which is a price increase on, trading card games because nobody grades their sports cards with them. But yeah, they're going up $2 each on bulk and economy up to $14 and $17, $5 on standard up to $45, $10 on express to $85, and $25 on walkthrough. Who's taking walkthrough the CGC? No, I love their slab. I love them. I wish that the hobby liked them better, but nobody with sports cards uses them. They are really popular, though, with trading card games, and clearly yet another sign that there could be a problem brewing with grading because of all the Pokemon cards that are being sent to be graded.
CGC is like this, watching as PSA raises their prices. They're like, oh, hey, wait a minute. We can raise ours now too, right? Like, I think this, as soon as they saw PSA raise their prices again on CCG, I think CGC was like, oh, perfect. We've been holding out. We didn't want to be the first ones to do it. And then PSA runs a special and then we lose some market share. I think they smartly waited. I think they had been waiting this whole time. I think they had plans to do it this whole time. So I'm not shocked that it happened. To say no one grades their sports cards with them, Mike, is disingenuous because our guy H&H does use CGC for his.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah. And notice I said H&H instead of trying to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's his new name. If you know who you are, you know who you are. But I'm not going to try and say it. But the only walkthrough service I could see, Mike, is maybe like a first edition Shadowless Charizard Hollow or something like that, and you live in Florida, you could go down to CGC and do a walkthrough. But I doubt many people with with 52 Manals are going over to CGC to walk that through their service. But I think it's smart business on them. They were able to do it after PSA, which I think is a smart move.
Yeah, there's probably like a celebration in the office. Like if they get a walkthrough, it's like, oh, everyone's
applauding.
We got one.
Yeah.
Annie Potts. Yeah. Annie Potts ref right there.
I feel like $2 again. I think that's what PSA's increase was. Is not a very significant amount. The people who were grading with them, who preferred grading with them, that's not going to change their numbers. And yeah, I agree 100% that they were waiting for PSA to either end their sale and or raise their prices, because I mean they couldn't compete with PSA with their prices like they were.
All right. Waited to the end of the podcast to throw this out there because it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I had to talk about this. Joe Day, that guy over there, he did a little Cheers break, which he finally, the national crisis is over. He finally got me my set. Like 5 months after everybody
hand
else.
delivered now.
I mean, I lost all of my ability to flip the set.
Walk through service.
Yes, terrible. But I thought he would be very interested in this. They are going to be auctioning off the door from the Cheers set.
Oh my.
It is going up for auction. They're thinking 125 to 150K, Joe. That's kind of in your range.
I mean, if it was like 90, I'd probably be in, but I can't swing 125.
The Cheers bar sold in June of 2023 for $675,000.
Imagine that man cave.
I kind of feel like 125 to 150 for the door might be low. I feel like the door is way more practical. You could do way more with that than you can a bar. You need a certain buyer to buy the bar. I don't know. I'm going to go with the over on that estimate there.
Yeah, because a door you can install. Like, could you imagine that as like into your den or something? The Cheers door.
You need it.
Yeah, I don't have any doors that need doors or any door frames that need doors.
You don't need one that needs one.
No, there's a lot of stuff.
Joe's OCD. There's no way he could put an unmatched door.
Yeah,
there's no way there could be an unmatched door. That'd be an issue.
Yeah, that's a really good point, EP. No, this is really cool. I love memorabilia like this coming up. I don't have much of any, but like I was thinking that like now I'm wondering like out of what show, like what piece of memorabilia out of what show would you guys be like, I need that? Like, this is not it for me, but there's like. I think Tecumseh from Cheers would be a little bit more up my speed. You could put that in the corner. The big wooden Indian that was right at the door, I think would be a lot of fun. But there's a lot of really cool stuff that I just can't afford, and it sucks.
If you have the door, though, people would yell, Joe, every time you walked in. That used to happen back at my card shop.
It did. I don't think Rob would be doing that. I have a hard time believing that Rob would do that as I open up the door and walk into a room.
You would be doing it, and Rob would be getting pissed off at you for doing it.
Yeah.
Their mugs weren't branded on the show, were they?
No.
They were just plain glass mugs. That'd be really cool if they're like you get a Cliff Clavin mug or whatever, like with the Cheers logo on it. That'd be kind of cool.
I want to tray a meth from Breaking Bad.
Oh my god!
We went a whole different level here.
Now, did you know that was actually cotton candy flavored rock candy?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that the clip I saw about that is great. Yeah.
The desk in the Oval Office from the West Wing would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Boring. So boring.
Have you ever watched The West Wing, Mike? You should watch The West Wing sometime.
I'm a long time ago. I've seen it's just that's more your thing than my thing.
EP's thing too. EP's a big West Wing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the full size X Wing from Return of the Jedi. I'd take that.
Let us know in the
full-size one.
comments if you're still watching, because everybody turned off when we hit the cheers stuff. But if you're still watching, let us know you're still watching by letting us know what piece of TV memorabilia would you want. I especially want Bob Boozle to answer that.
Yeah. I would be interested to see what
Pirate shirt.
what Bargain. I'd be interested in
Pirate shirt.
Bargain's definitely watching because he pulled a cheer. As soon as he heard cheers, he pulled the
That's
case.
true, yeah.
He pulled the product hit out of that product.
It was so set up.
So yeah, it was.
All right, guys. I don't have anything else. I feel like that was a pretty good chat this week. And I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
Adios.